Hello and welcome to Challenge Roth. My name is Daniel and a big shout out to Zone 3 for getting me here. Today's video is going to be my race day video from Challenge Roth, and I promise you this is going to be a race day video like no other. Thanks to Challenge and thanks to Zone 3, I'm going to have a lot of camera coverage, and thank you to Elizabeth behind the camera for all the support she gives me. I'm here, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm excited, I am ready to start. Let's do it. We are about an hour away from me starting, half an hour away from the pros starting. 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, 26.2 mile run. How hard can it be? Let's get stuck in.
The very end.
Well done,
Wir feiern alle zusammen in Roth und wir haben die Hände nicht in die Hosentaschen, wir haben sie nicht am Handy, sondern wir blenden in den Kanal oder in die Wechselzone.
Okay then, in and out of transition in a couple of minutes. In that tent, the volunteers are absolutely incredible. Taking stuff out your bag for you, tipping it on the floor, getting your shoes out. Everything you want to be done is done. I chose to carry my shoes to the bike. It's pretty slow running in bike shoes, and I knew that I only had like a couple hundred meters to go. I've got elastic laces in my shoes, so it's pretty easy to put them on, so I just carried them there and put them on at my bike. There was a little bit of a discussion about helmets and whether your helmet strap had to be undone on your bike or whether it could be done up and hung up on your extensions. My friend Matt actually had a couple of words with some officials who were allegedly going to give him some sort of penalty because he had his helmet done up. If anybody knows the actual rules in the German Federation, then feel free to let me know down below. I made sure to report him anyway, just in case he was going to beat me on the day. Out onto the bike then, I just go a little bit past the mountain line just to try and get out of the crowd a little bit, and I was hoping that the bike course wasn't going to be as busy as this, but I am ready to go. Let's get out there and let's absolutely smash this 112 mile bike ride.
Wow, this place is bonkers. I've just come out of the hustle and bustle of the swim start and transition 1. Daniel is now out on the bike leg and I'm making my way to Solar Hill. I've got just over a mile walk, I believe, if I'm heading in the right direction. It's been unbelievable. I don't know how the athletes must feel because my adrenaline is absolutely pumping, never mind theirs. Crazy. I feel like I've slipped up here. I'm getting dropped left, right and centre by people on bikes, scooters, roller skates, you name it, they're whizzing round on it. It took me a while with all the crowds, but I've made it up Solar Hill now. It was absolutely fantastic on there. The crowds were going crazy as the cyclists came through. I've now got to the point where it's own supplies. So as well as trying to video, I've also got the job of trying to hand him a bottle as well.
Liz! This is mental. Thank you. Got it.
Daniel!
This is mental. Thank you.
Well done!
Okay, so out on the bike course, not a pothole in sight. Absolutely awesome. I'm following this gentleman in front of me here. His name's Mitchell. He's an Australian triathlete and he is riding strong. There weren't many people that came past me, if any at all, on my bike, to be honest, because I'd started like so far down the field, but he was one of them. So when he came past, I thought, right, I'm going to try and follow this guy, and I did for probably, I don't know, half of the first lap. He's riding strong. He's dipping in and out of the pace line, which is the right thing to do. I stay with him until this climb out of Reading here, so he's a gentleman in the white kit, and then on the right in the orange back is a gentleman called Nathan. We actually did a bit of riding together as well. This is the only like real steep climb on the course, and it's probably steep for a minute and a half, 2 minutes or so, and I'm just pushing hard here. I'm not even looking at the numbers. Looking back, I was doing like 380 watts for a couple of minutes, but I knew I just needed to hold on to these guys if I wanted to ride a fast bike split. Nathan's pulling away there, but I'm just thinking, well, if I could just hold Mitchell's wheel, then that would be absolutely fine. Of course, the crowd is pumping, the adrenaline's rushing. Like, I'm not having to like exert myself too much. I feel like this is easy, but I know that I can't just ride full gas up this climb because it's going to bite me in the arse on the second lap, I am sure. It then does flatten out a little bit for the rest of the climb, so it's not super steep, and that's more my sort of area, I suppose. Taking on a bit of cooling, every aid station, taking on water, hydration, everything I could just to try and stay on top of that cooling. It was getting hot, as well as trying to avoid people at the aid stations, which is another challenge to do on such a busy bike course. But yeah, I was really happy with how this ride went as a whole, and particularly riding those guys. They did drop me on the descent, but I sort of came back to Nathan at some point during the second lap, and Mitchell rode off into the sunset. This is Solarberg Hill, or Solarberg Hill. I'm just going to leave you to watch this for 30 seconds or so because this is awesome.
So the pros are coming through for the second time up Solar Hill now. It's all a bit of a blur to me. I cannot tell you who's in what place at the moment. It's just been absolutely hectic, what with the huge crowds, trying to make sure Daniel got his bottle and everything else. So also I had a bit of a dilemma that I had to deal with as well. I didn't realise that actually there was no shuttle buses from sort of Solar Hill area back to T2. Turns out the shuttle buses just run more along the run course. Luckily, Will Cowan's mum and dad have saved the day, and they're very kindly going to give me a lift back to the Roth area. Otherwise, I think it would have been sort of a 7-mile walk for me. So I had a bit of a panic wondering at what point I would have to start walking, but thanks very much to Will's mum and dad who have absolutely saved the day today. So I'm just waiting with them now to see Will for the second time up Solar Hill, and then we're going to jump in the car and head back to sort of T2 area. So catch you later. Both Daniel and Matt are well into their run now, both looking really strong. It's absolutely boiling hot out here, so it's just a matter of keeping cool and ticking those miles off. For me, logistically, it has been an absolute nightmare. If it wasn't for Will's mum and dad, I'm not really sure what I would have done. I'd probably still be stuck on Solar Hill. Definitely, if you are a spectator here and you want to move around and see lots of different places, you absolutely need a bike. If I had a bike today, it would have been so much easier because all the closed roads that sort of got me directly to where I needed to be, I could have been on them on a bike. So I'm feeling rather stressed. I have walked an absolute long way just to try and make sure that I saw Daniel, otherwise it wouldn't have been until 30k on the run before I saw him, and I just really wanted to see him before then. So I'm pleased I've seen him. It's just meant that I've had a hell of a walk, and now I've got to hope that I can actually get to 30k before he gets there. I'm so sorry, there's no shuttle buses.
That's it. You're doing great.
Do you want that?
I'm going to take out, so there's too much going on.
I'll see you at 30k with your bottle.
Yeah, I'm
well
okay
done.
Then. Thank you.
Incredible, Daniel. I'll see you at that finish line.
If I can hold it together, I should be sub 10.
Well done, you're doing absolutely amazing. Just keep it cool, yeah. Last little bit and I'll see you at the finish line. Well done.
Sportliche Durstlöscher optimal zur Regeneration. Schon immer mit dabei die Sparkasse mit dem gut in die Region anlegen statt stilllegen. Auch ihr Geld braucht Bewegung. Besprechen Sie Ihr Lebensanlageziele mit Ihrem Berater.
About 24 miles. I thought I was it. I was walking and I was feeling awful. Somebody came past me and said, Daniel, 40 minutes to get to the finish. Sub 10. I was like, I didn't go with him, but that spurred me on to whoever that was. Thank you very much. That took everything.
Absolutely incredible. Well done.
Good about me. And I'm not crying on TV.
Give me my phone.
Yeah, spend some time in that tent now. Well done. Sub 10, baby. That's made a very stressful day absolutely worth it. Well done, Daniel. Incredible. Yes, I am crying. Well done, Matt. Well done. Fantastic. How you feeling? It's been a hot day out there, hasn't it?
The end of that run is horrible.
Yeah. You've done amazing, though. Well done.
What do you do, like 9:40?
9:52. Yeah, it's in there waiting for you. So yeah, well done. Go and get some food.
Okay, Challenge Roth 2023 done and dusted. It is currently 8:30 in the evening. We're going to go to the finish line party for as long as we can hack because we are quite tired. Yes, party. We just thought we'd do a quick debrief whilst it's still fresh in our minds, and also so I can put this video together and get it out. I might do a more detailed look into the data and stuff another day, but this is more the raw emotion sort of thing, isn't it? So, Liz, first of all, how was your day?
So overall it has been absolutely amazing. Like the whole Roth experience, the event, it is incredible. I hope I didn't come across too sort of mardy and disheartened earlier, but you know, when your athletes expecting you to be somewhere at a certain time, you know, it was a bit disappointing that I then couldn't be there and do, you know, what I'd planned to do. And you know, and when you're walking around in that heat and things, it is it was a bit tough at times, but you know, overall it has been absolutely incredible. I've had such a fantastic day. Emotions obviously all over the place, because all you want is you want everyone to come home and be happy and enjoy the day. So when Daniel crossed that line and that's how the day had gone, it's it just absolutely makes it, doesn't it? But the whole experience has just been amazing.
Good. I'm glad you've had a good day. Don't worry about, oh, I planned to do this but it didn't happen. We're in a foreign country I've not been to before, a race I've not been to before. We're not a polished production team. You are, well, you know, you're somebody I would give a camera and basically bark orders at. So thank you very much. I'm sure you've done a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I just could not keep up, like keep on track of Daniel and the pro athletes and everything else. So I haven't sort of followed that as such, but I do hope that I've managed to just capture the day from sort of start to end, and you just get a little gist of what it was like, because it was incredible.
Good. Okay. So the actual race then. The build-up is just like nothing else. Obviously the race is massive. There's 2 transition areas like across the road in different fields. It's huge, but the swim start went without major jeopardy really, didn't it? Just sort of got there at the right time and then started. I think there's about 500 people in a wave, something like that, or maybe a bit less than that, but it's still a fairly big swim group. The swim was okay. I started off right at the front, so I got past quite a lot early on, but then I found my groove. It's hard to sit on feet in the swim groups are arranged by age group, not ability. So you're in a mixed group, which actually is okay because it spreads out. Swim went okay. I had 2 or 3 wees and I spent a bit of time trying to do that, and I think I back off my swimming when I do that. I swam 1 hour and 13 minutes, which is pretty much bang on what I always seem to swim at these 4 distance events. It's about what I deserve, I think, swimming once or twice a week. I don't think I can expect any more than that. The only thing that did happen in the swim, I swam in the quite shallow bit, and for one reason or another, I swam in the really shallow bit at one point. I scraped my hand across the floor, only once. I must hit some glass or something, so I've got a cut all down my finger and on the palm of my hand. But I didn't notice it until on the bike when I started having gels and sticky stuff. I was like, ah, what is that? So just a bit annoying changing gear and stuff, but obviously not a major injury. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. Out of the water, onto the bike. That was pretty smooth, wasn't it really? The bike, I tried to keep it controlled, but I was absolutely buzzing to be out on the bike. The course is mega, the surface is awesome. The first lap I got in a group with 2 other guys, a gentleman called Mitchell, who's an Australian chap, and Nathan, who is Irish, and it was really good. They were riding a bit too strong for me, in honesty though. I think Mitchell dropped both of us and Nathan dropped me, and then I did catch Nathan again on the second lap. But you've just got to find your own groove. I was conscious that I don't feel like I've ever delivered a full distance ride to my capability, but that did happen today. I finished the second lap strong. I climbed, not crazy, but I definitely pressed on the climbs to keep the average speed up. I fueled well, cooled well, hydrated well, focused on that more than anything. The second lap of the bike was very congested. I think we were catching waves from earlier on, and there are a few stretches where you are literally like a peloton, and it is a bit dangerous and it is a bit frustrating, but it is just one of those things with these big events. You can't come to a big event and then moan there's loads of people here. It's just one of those things. They spread people out as much as they can, and we just got to work through the groups as you can and try and have a safe race more than anything. I know it probably is like drafting at some points, but you have to, I was going through groups in a group, you've got to follow that person, because otherwise you go past people, they then just pull out without looking onto that next person's wheel. You're then further back, you know, following a rider who isn't going to hold that wheel. So it was just a bit annoying. But yeah, finished the ride 247 watts, 4 hours and 46 minutes, which is the fastest I've ridden a full distance bike split. I think it was about 5,000 feet of climbing as well, so it was, you know, fairly rolling. But I felt like I had a good ride. Bike was absolutely perfect. Kit was absolutely perfect. So NRG chain, thank you NRG for hooking me up with wax chains, and Zone 3 obviously for the tri-suit. It was absolutely fine. No saddle problems, no chafing. I put a lube on and stuff, but it just works, and obviously it seems to be fairly aero. Off the bike and onto the run, it was hot. The first couple of miles are up a hill, but I didn't really feel it because it was so early on. I looked at my watch when I got off the bike, and I knew that if I ran 3:55 or below, I would be below 10 hours overall, so that was my objective. The first 3 or 4 miles I ran about 8-minute mile in, and then it gradually depleted down to about 8.5. I was trying to do the maths in my head, but I couldn't quite work it out in the heat and the stress, and I'm not very clever. So I got to half marathon before I really knew if it was on or not. When I got to a half marathon, I think I had about 2 and a bit hours to do a half marathon to be under 10 hours. So I thought, okay, this is on, but it's also can be not on at any moment, can't it? It was hard, it was hot. I was fueling as much as I could, taking on gels and water at aid stations, and literally, I think I was the wettest man in Roth at one point, because they stand there at buckets and they're like, yeah or no, I'm like, yes, and I was absolutely sopping wet, you know, feet sloshing around, all that sort of stuff. But it was good. I think I only made two or three places on the run. I was pretty much just passed other than that, which is a bit demoralising, but I'm used to it. It's just one of those things. I got to mile 22 and I was thinking, this is really on now. I think I had to do 4 miles at 10-minute mile in, and I'd be like 5 minutes under 10 hours was the plan. I thought, right, I haven't got this, but I feel like it's within touching distance. The mile 23 was awful. I felt really dizzy. I went really like goose pimply. I thought, oh my God, is this heat stroke? Like, I was really worried that this is going to be like the end of my race. And I started walking, and this might be a TMI. I didn't plan to, but I just started wetting myself. So I don't know what my body was doing, but obviously it wasn't in a good place. A gentleman ran past me, and thank you very much for this. He said something like, Dan, you've got 40 minutes to get to the finish, and you're sub 10 hours. And I thought, yes. And I told myself, if you go sub 10 hours, you don't have to do another one of these. So yeah, so I had like a quarter of a gel. That's all I could force down me. And I seemed to perk back up a little bit, and it was quite downhill on the way back, and I just trudged it out, and I came in 9:52 actually overall. So yeah, the run course measures a little bit short. It's supposed to be full distance. It's something to the GPS on the canal, but it is what it is. And the bike course is 2k short. Apparently that is like widely accepted. So 9:52 overall. I'd like to think that even if everything was the absolute correct distance, that'd still be sub 10 hours. So I'm going to call myself a sub 10 hour full distance athlete. I think people put that on their Instagram bios, don't they? But more than anything, the event was incredible. You've probably seen Solar Hill and seen the crowds and all that. I just want to thank the people of Roth. This is it feels like quite a small town, doesn't it? And they obviously just let the whole town be taken over for this event.
Take over the whole area.
Yeah, and it's not just this weekend, is it? I bet it's been the lead up, been for weeks and months. Yeah. So thank you to the people of Germany, the people of Roth for this, because it is absolutely brilliant. Thanks again to Zone 3 for actually giving me the entry here. So that is bonkers as well. And that's about it, isn't it? Yeah, I think I might do a data video another day, because some nerds do actually like the data, and it's easier. I
think we've got a party to get to.
Yeah, we have. Just what time we ran? 3 hours 48.
All right.
Fastest full distance bike split by about 15 minutes.
Well done. I think we need a high five for an incredible. High five for an incredible day. Really proud of you. Now let's go party.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye.